Well, it is the 4th of January today, I think. Time just passes by, it slips by. And Christmas and New
What do you mean slips
Year's
by?
seem a lifetime away. Yeah,
Do you realise we're already 1/100th of the way through the year?
I didn't know that. And I don't want to know that.
There you go. We're already one
Yeah,
100th of the way through the year, darling.
yeah.
Yep. I think time is speeding up.
It is
Or
absolutely.
is it that
No, it's speeding up. Everything's
I'm pretty
changing.
sure it is,
The,
mate?
the polarities are
You know,
changing. Everything.
I sit outside at night and I watch the moon and it comes up over the back of the other houses across the street and I can watch its trajectory.
Yeah.
And the next night it's maybe just a little bit off because it does move,
Yeah,
and it comes up an hour later.
right,
Okay, so if it's here at 7, the next night at 7 it'll be here, so by 8 o'clock it's in the sort of same spot, right?
right.
But the other night I was out there and I swear it was 3 hours behind itself, and when it came up it wasn't here in its trajectory, it was up there in its trajectory.
Wow.
And I thought, is it the Earth moving? Because I know we're off our axis, and I know that with all this stuff going on, or is it the moon that's moving?
Well,
You know?
I can tell you something interesting. Very hard
What's
to believe, but in one of our spiritual reports a while back, the question was asked, are there 2 suns now? And the answer come up, yes.
I know. I've seen heaps of footage where they're showing 2 suns.
Right.
But is it Nibiru?
Well, I never asked that question. Who knows? Maybe that's something I should ask.
I think you should, because, for those who don't know who Nibiru is, it's, if you can imagine a planet that's about 100 size the size of Earth. But where the sun is, so here's Earth, we rotate around the Earth like this. So 1 year is a full rotation around the sun, right?
Apparently.
But this Nibiru, its orbit comes around the sun, right? So it goes around the sun, but then it goes out for 3,000 years, and then it comes back. And now they reckon it's coming back in, going around the sun again.
Yeah.
So how do you know?
Yeah.
And it's over 100 times the size of Earth.
Yeah. I mean, Coast to Coast AM often talks about Nibiru, by the way, with George Lurie.
We've got to, if we are on the side where we say this is a plausible possibility, what is the magnetic pull of this humongous size of this planet? So it's going to have some sort of magnetic pull to it.
Yeah.
And could this sun, or it's a big planet, could it be the reason why the Earth goes into climate change? Because of the poles changing, etc.
Well, yeah,
so
it's a natural
there's
phenomenon.
a lot, because we don't know, because we're just menial little blobs sitting here amongst the other 8 billion of us.
Linda,
we're not.
People forget, and it was a bit before my time, I have to say, but at the early 20th century, 1900, 1910, people were ice skating on the River Thames in London. And yes, we contribute a bit to this, but it's also the natural cycles of life. And of course, they've conveniently taken their readings at a convenient point that shows that the world is heating up. But listen, if you're spraying the skies with all this crap, you are creating a greenhouse effect. And actually, sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but we need carbon dioxide to grow food. Otherwise, they wouldn't put it in.
Let's just go somewhere with some evidence that I've got just tonight. Tonight, guys, I'm drinking I've got turmeric, ginger, lime, and honey.
Right.
So it's like a green. It looks like a green wee concoction, right?
Yeah.
But I cut up my limes tonight. There's no seeds in it.
Yeah.
Last week I had lemons, no seeds in it either.
No.
Now, you can't disclaim that this isn't genetically modified food that we're now eating. And if the seeds are not in it, what possibly could now be in it? Because that's what a critical thinker does. So you don't just look at what they're taking out of it, like any nutrients or natural immunity products, that's always in these healthy foods, but what are they putting into them? Like what you said about the Ferrero Rochers.
Yeah.
So, more gallons.
Well, this is evidence. And I've got the video that I showed you. The guy opened up a Ferrero Rocher, put it under a microscope, moved it around, and there's this two little crab-like things going like this in and amongst,
I love those chocolates, Mike.
And you know what, Linda? Someone brought a great big Ferrero Rocher for me, and I was starting to eat it, and this video come in timely and thought, boom, straight in the bin.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So we got to take care of.
Do we have to put Do we have to start putting every food under the microscope before we start eating any of this?
Or we start growing our own,
because
which is what I've been saying for 2 years.
How do we grow our own when nothing's got seeds in it anymore?
Yeah. It can be a bit of a problem, but yeah, there we are.
God.
Yeah.
I know.
So Cyrus has been hearing about Morgolians.
It's a weird life,
Yeah. No,
I feel like
Morgolians
cracking it into a song. Yeah, keep
no,
going.
son, the Morgolians, Cyrus talking about Morgolians. Yes, and it is in the chemtrails. And I've got to tell you a funny story. And it is about 18 years ago also, I was looking at chemtrails. And I was saying to people that these are chemtrails. No, they're contrails from the airport. I said they're not. I said contrails disappear straight away. These don't disappear and they expand. You're a conspiracy theorist. And here we are.
Don't you love it when you get proved right?
I got to say, I do sometimes.
Now, well, let me just go there talking in code. There's a certain footballer who's just collapsed on the field only a few days ago. Mm-hmm. And they were doing CPR on him on the field. They took him off and he's had a heart attack. He's only 24 years old.
Oh, blimey.
His doctor on Twitter put up a post saying that he had given him his
vacation orders.
Well, yes. The one that you have after all the others, right?
Yeah.
So it boosts your physicalness, the boosted one.
A vacation booster.
He only had that like 5 days before he played and he had a heart attack. Yeah. That doctor's someone took a screenshot of it, thank God, where the doctor said, I just gave it to him. And now that I've just shared it today, so it is real. And, so people are now learning. The other thing that I got today, because you're over in Europe, guess what Greece is now starting to do?
Tell me.
1,000 euros every month for anyone who donates blood that never took it. I'm going to be rich, Mike, if they bring that in here to Australia.
I'm going to be
I'll
rich.
be lining up. But as my friend said, she said, who's buying it, Linda? Yeah. They won't be paying $1,000 per litre.
No.
Because there's someone paying $5,000 to get it. Mm. So who out of all, the top of the pyramid types, who's buying it?
Yeah.
Because they know they've been had as well in this. So Greece has now come out saying $1,000 a month if you donate 1 litre of good blood.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're scared. They're scared. Rightfully so when you've got 24-year-olds having heart attacks playing football. Oh, my God, mate. I just...
Well, I tell you, Linda, before we start, I just wanted to hear that Sari said that Mercury retrograde stops machines from moving. Well, I tell you what, a lot of my electronic stuff has gone absolutely crazy. It doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on at the moment. A lot going on.
Yep. So James is there too. James Cole never took it. Never took it. Told everyone not to. James Cole, thank you so much, because hello, we are so desperately needed for what's coming. But seriously, did not hear it. Which story are you referring to?
The Greece one.
I'm going to put my email in. I'm just going to type in my email. If anyone does want to have a private chat with me about anything, there's my email. And hi, James, says Sari. So thank you so much for Sari for being interactive tonight. If anyone does want to know what's going on, I've got heaps of videos where they show it all.
Well,
you know?
I tell you.
And then you look at what's happening now in New Zealand. Oh, my God. You know that little country next to the big country of Australia? It's called New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
Tiny, tiny little country.
Yeah.
Their lady in charge, who she's not in charge, she's got the strings on.
Did you say lady? But, okay. Hey? You said lady.
She's a lady. Yeah, the PM over there's a lady.
I'll have to have a close look. I'll have to have a close look at that again.
Yeah, the Prime Minister, is she a lady? But the Prime Minister, she announced last week, they want to start doing a dob in the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any past there because I just said the word, so maybe we should go and see the first video now.
Yeah, because I tell you what, the life forms that don't need to worry about any of this, blood transfusions and stuff like that, are the poltergeists. They're the lucky ones. They don't need any of this. They just carry on doing their thing. So let's go over and look at this first segment about some poltergeists, again, behaving badly, disrupting things, but nothing too bad here. Let's have a look at this and we can discuss this.
But at least y'all caught that part. Yo. No, I'm good. Nope.
For some time now, YouTuber Bobby Bars has suspected his home might be haunted. In fact, the activity became so frequent and strange, he began documenting it all on his YouTube channel, World Paranormal. In this clip, we see Bars rapping in a TikTok video. At first, you'd think it's just him spitting some mad fire, but soon something strange begins to happen in the background. The Sonic plushie in the background raises its arm, seemingly all on its own. Viewers immediately said it was the work of a poltergeist. A poltergeist is a type of ghost or supernatural entity believed to be responsible for physical disturbances, such as loud noises and objects moving or being thrown around. Some people believe that poltergeists are malevolent entities that seek to harm or scare people, while others think they may be the manifestation of a person's subconscious or repressed emotions. Given that Bars has spotted other activity in and around his home, it certainly does make you wonder whether his house could be haunted by some kind of unresolved spirit.
Oh wow, look at this. Definitely looks like someone's staying here almost.
Exploring and Paranormal is an up-and-coming ghost hunting channel on YouTube. Nick, the host, travels around North America in search of ghosts and other supernatural activity. However, in this next short clip he sent us, it seems the haunting activity is a little closer to home. For some time now, Nick has suspected his house might be haunted by a spirit, or that he may have brought back an entity from one of his investigations. While sitting and watching some TV, something eerie happens in his living room. Watch. Out of nowhere, the pen on the coffee table rolls along. You can see what appears to be quite a genuine reaction from Nick as he notices the movement. Our last clip of the day comes from Twitter user Sitio Paranormal. It's some security footage captured in an unknown location in late 2020. It's approaching midnight when the camera suddenly catches this.
Here it comes.
A mysterious white wisp flies from left to right.
Here it comes.
It doesn't appear to be passing dust or a strange reflection of light, so what could it be? Some viewers thought it looked like a serpent-like creature, others said it's a classic boo ghost, white and all. Unfortunately, there's almost no info on this clip, so it's impossible to dig into the location or history of the area. So with that, I'll throw this one out to you, the viewers, for final judgment. What do you think this weird flying white wisp actually is? Let me know down below. If you love mysterious videos like this one, then check out our other content.
There you go. Lot of stuff there, Linda. You got a little smile on your face.
A lot of fake stuff there, Mike.
Really, yeah.
Oops. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? Okay,
Go on.
the blue book.
Yeah.
I like the blue book because it opens and it closes.
Right.
So if you've got a pulley system to open the book, you've also got to have something to make it. Could be done with magnets. So you've got a string to open it and then the magnet to close it, or the magnet to open it and the string to close it. So yeah,
It's a lot of effort.
There.
It's a lot of effort to
Yeah.
get you know,
Yeah.
viewers on YouTube to monetize it. I think there'd be less complicated ways, but okay.
Yeah. So the cup on the microwave, where the cup goes backwards, that one is so easy to do. I've actually set that up myself.
Right.
You run a string behind the back of the microwave, it comes out, you attach it to the bottom of the cup. So when you pull it, the cup goes backwards to the end of the microwave. And because he's got all that other stuff there, it's really easy to do that one. I've done that one myself quite successfully.
Right.
So, damn it, we don't know if it's real, we don't know if it's fake, but there is a possibility if I can do it, anyone else can too, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question.
Oh.
Why was that guy filming himself with the pen center stage?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that he has been aware of paranormal activity and he wanted to just put the camera there in case something happened. But again, it's one of those cases, this is a perfectly aligned camera.
Perfectly in the middle of the page, center stage, so it starts moving around.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think, nah, sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've got it, and the last one, the white wisp, it actually started about 5 seconds before the guy says, here it comes.
Right.
You can see it there hovering.
Right.
It's actually a spider web.
Right.
I have seen it so many times, Mike.
Yeah.
When you slow it down and you look at it, it is far closer than the vehicles, and also it's like a ray of sunshine coming through from a light, and it's in front of that light beam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It's not out in his yard. It's right, because we have to remember here, cameras only have one focal point.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to ascertain distance, because that's why we have two eyes. So two eyes ascertain distance. It creates that depth of photography. Okay, what we see, like one layers of distance, right? Cameras can't do that. And it's so easy when we see something this close that we think, oh yeah, it's 10 feet away, but it's actually right in front of the lens.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I've seen that one hundreds of times. It's a cobweb.
Having said that, that does look remarkably like one of those spirits. Would they call them a wisp or wisp? I've seen several of those
I
videos.
don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think he did. I'll take your advice on that. I hadn't
Well,
looked too closely about it, but
I was actually thinking something like a white rabbit because it had like ears,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But it's there if you rewind, guys,
yeah.
and have a look at it again. It's actually right off the left side of the camera. It's there as soon as the video starts. You can see it, and it hovers. It's doing this, and that goes across the screen. So it's a cobweb.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a cobweb in front of the camera, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, because it's there for at least 5 seconds before he says, "Here it comes." No, it's not, because it's already been there. It's in there.
I'm laughing because unfortunately I forgot to put on the open door news, and we'll have to skip it now because we're pushing ahead with time. But
and it's okay because I didn't get sent the file again this week either. Anyway, Mike.
You know what? It's incredible because Katerina asked 2 questions for our spiritual report, and I didn't see them either. So anyway, one thing I'm doing is that for next week we do the news, and I'm also putting up the full version of the conversation that we had on my YouTube channel. So that'll be something for everyone to look at.
I just want to address one of the comment here. James Cole, he's actually watched my video last week on the vortex that I did.
Yeah.
While I was doing it, now I'm not going to show you because my room is absolutely disgusting. Because off camera here, it's a cupboard. I've got my ironing board set up and it's got paper and stuff all over it because I have so many files upon files, you know, book stuff I'm working on and all this stuff. It's all set up here. But I always close my blinds on my window. The other day, when I'm doing this vortex, this white thing, it comes behind me and it comes around. I actually saw it come around here. And that's why I'm like, what was that? So something was flying around in my room the other day. James Cole, thank you so much for watching that video. I don't know which side of the fence you're on these days, James, but I've got a good one there today regarding the fireman's calendar. Yeah, that's good for a laugh. Come on, we all need to rise our vibrations up. That's why I did it. A few people actually emailed me, Mike, about this fireman's calendar I did, and they said, we know why you did that, Linda, to raise people's vibrations and make them laugh.
Right.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
We joke's on you because we can see through it. And I went, yep, some people saw through that.
Good.
So I hope that everyone had a giggle with that fireman's calendar review I did today because I was really enjoying myself.
Yeah. Well, before we get on to the next one, I just want to say, Sari asked, how's the cat doing? The cat's doing much better.
Yes.
She's nervous. But thanks to the Healy that I now have.
Go on, show it.
It's not, I mean, I've got it charging up at the moment, but the Healy sits in here, and as you can see, it's about the size of three fingers. And it's really good for frequency and stuff. And I got it half price because I was doing a sale at Christmas.
I love that.
I also bought myself a Schumann resonance machine that vibrates at 7.3 hertz. You don't hear it, but that's the frequency that Mother Earth vibrates at, and it's the same within the same frequency range of our own heart, and this harmonizes everything in the house. And when you've got a nervous puddy cat, this will be absolutely brilliant for it. But Becky is doing much better. Her tail's up, but she's very nervous still. But
thank God.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been praying for her. And while we're talking about prayers, can I just mention someone? I don't want to say her name, but she is here in Australia. She's having a rough time with her dad as well as her brother. So please know, because she watches our show, please know, darling girl down south from me, she knows who she is. You're in my prayers, darling girl, you and your family. Okay, as with Becky and anybody else who wants me to put prayers out there, all you got to do is email me. My email's already on the comments there, and I'm happy to include people with my daily prayers that I do.
Right.
Now, talking about promoting things, Mike, I just want to go there for people. Next week, hopefully, this is the last episode of seeing the crappy old Linda's phone. Next week. 2 days to go. Tomorrow, Tashi goes back to her dad's because it's night time here. So Tashi goes back to her dad's tomorrow. But Friday, I'm committing myself to being up at the store at 8:30 because it's going to be a whole day effort. And I'm not looking. I'm going to take a cut lunch. I'm serious because it's an all-day effort because I need new home internet, new phone, new plan. I'm actually going to ask if I can get a phone for free because it's been a 3-year battle with this for my Telstra. For those of you that don't know, I've had trouble now with my home internet for 3 years. Okay, 3-year battle. I've had about 18 technicians out, different technicians. Some of them have been out here 6 times, and it's like, hey, you're back again. You know, I don't like to tell people my woes because I'm not a victim, but I've had a lot of NBN, which is National Broadband, technicians out here trying to fix what's wrong with the internet at my house. So 2 days to go, and I'm going in to sort it all out. They emailed me. They're happy now to talk to me, so they're going to put me on a new plan. Yay!
Yeah.
Now I can go and do lives at the lake and do beautiful work, Mike.
Beautiful.
So, so we can say goodbye to the old. Hopefully this is the last week. If I turn up with this next week, I'm going to be pretty upset. Okay? Yeah. Oh, my God.
All righty.
Okay. Sorry saying haven't seen the calendar video yet. Sorry, it's actually called Review of the Australian Fireman's Calendar. I think it's that one. Yeah. Okay. It will give you a laugh. It actually made me laugh when I watched it again because I just can't believe how brazen I was in it. Oops. You know, but yeah, go and have a look at it. Sorry, because you'll have a giggle. Yeah. Okay. It's worth a giggle, even if if you don't like men, you're still going to laugh at just how I talk about all these naked men in there.
Hey, what's wrong with us guys? Come on, what's wrong with us guys?
Mike, there's nothing wrong with any of us, you know. But these guys, as I said, you know, they do in the video. I said they do an amazing work. Yeah. You know, I used to work in forensics with the police myself. I was an admin officer. You don't want to know what I saw being part of the police, but these are the ones who go in. They're shooting off the hoses, putting out a fire, and when they find bodies in there, you don't want to know what this looks like. You know, you really don't want to know. Like, I've seen it myself, and it makes me cry. You know, these guys see it every time there's a house fire and someone dies in there. So I give them kudos every time they go and the bell rings to say that they need it at a job. You know, because it takes a lot of guts, and I admire the determination they do to stay fit. You know, they've got to carry out 200-kilo people over their shoulder and save people's lives. So they must stay fit for their job. You know, so if they want to be a little bit egotistical and do nice calendars for us who are just elderly women with tuck shop arms, I am happy to donate towards their cause. Okay?
All right.
We should now look at another.
Yeah.
We should now look at another video.
Well,
now, where are we going?
This video is the Vanishing Hitchhiker. We showed this, I think, one of the first shows that we did.
This is when I used to sit out at my dining room table.
Yeah.
So this would have been in the first 3 months of us doing our show a year or two ago, Mike.
Yeah.
And this is absolute. Wait until you see this one, guys. This is an amazing video. I mean, it's going to make you think. It's going to make you think.
Very reminiscent, once again, of the, what's his name, Telly Savalas story.
Oh, yeah.
That we should show again, but we'll just get thrown off air. But it's very reminiscent, and it does show you what spirit can do when they really want. Unless, of course, you think this is just complete BS. But let's run this. I think it's excellent evidence. It is a reenactment, but nonetheless, let's run this and get everyone's opinion.
Yeah. This story begins at night. A man drives down a dark road. It may be unfamiliar to him, and he may not be sure where he's going. After a while, he feels a little lost. Suddenly, up ahead, a figure looms in his headlights. He slows down and sees that it's a young girl hitchhiking. It's strange that she'd be out here in the middle of nowhere. He stops to ask if everything is okay. She asks for a ride home. He says that's fine and tells her to hop in. As they head down the road, he notices that she looks pale. The air around her feels cold, and she's strangely quiet. Finally, the driver asks where she's going.
So, where are you heading to?
She gives him directions to her home. She says she hasn't been there in a long time. The driver thinks she's a runaway and that he's doing a good deed by giving her a lift. They pull up to her parents' house in a typical neighborhood, and she climbs out. But as the driver is about to take off, he notices that the strange girl has left her scarf on the passenger seat. Looking around, he's surprised to discover she's gone. Weird. He didn't see her go inside. So with the scarf in hand, he heads for the house to return it. He knocks on the door and is met by a normal-looking gentleman. The driver explains about giving the daughter a ride and how she left her scarf in the car. Suddenly, the man's wife reacts with shock.
She just kind of disappeared.
The driver wonders what's wrong.
That scarf belonged to our daughter.
The husband brings him inside and explains that his daughter died in a car crash 5 years ago, on the same dark road where she was picked up. She was buried with the scarf. Our driver's young passenger was a ghost.
Well, I tell you, Linda, one question. Was she earthbound, or did she just make herself felt present at that time for the right person at the right time to have closure for her parents, and then moved on?
I actually think because she died in a car accident, so therefore she died suddenly without any warning. Therefore, I believe she's a ghost, not a spirit, who has stayed earthbound. Now, if anybody wants to know further information about ghosts, my book, Ghosts Explained, is right now on Lulu. And today, guess what got dropped into my inbox, Mike?
Go on.
Spirit Guides and Life Paths is now finished. I am setting it up to be on Lulu. It'll be on Lulu by this weekend, hopefully, because I've still got to get my guy in Argentina to he's doing up the front cover for me.
Right.
Okay. Because it will be available as a hard copy, just like my Heaven book. Okay. So just like my Heaven book, it's going to be a hard copy, and it's about 120 pages. So if anybody watches tonight and you want a copy of Ghosts or Spirit Guides and Life Paths Explained, email me, and I will put on my I will be putting on my PayPal link, just in case you do want to throw me a couple of dollars towards it. So I've just put on my email address. So if anyone does want a copy, email me, Ghosts, and I've also got, I'm going to do a deal tonight with Spirit Guides and Life Paths Explained, because it's coming out live next week. So if anybody wants a copy before it's live, you better get onto your little email, and there's my address in the link. Okay. There you go, guys. Happy Merry Christmas. All righty.
Okay. Well, Linda, What do you think now? Do you think this woman will now rest in peace after she's done this, or does the cycle continue? I mean, we'll never know for sure, but
We'll never know for sure, but at least she's now made it home.
Yeah.
To her parents, not home like heaven.
Yeah.
She's made it to her. So, a big possibility here is, Mike, like Shelley came into my house, she'll walk in there and she'll be wondering why her mum looks so old.
Right.
She'll be asking herself, why doesn't Dad go to work why doesn't he go to work? He should be going to work now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's retired, because it's been 5 years, right? She'll be going up to her bedroom and saying, where's my clothes?
Yeah.
Where's my car? So she can go into a really deep psychosis over this.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's just hope and pray that she did find that peace. And by listening to them in the house where they're now saying she died, she will remember her death and make that natural progression into going to home where she'll see the white light and she'll accept her death, because we can't force it on a ghost. You know, these, I call them ignorant idiot people.
Right.
Sorry, they're ignorant, that don't know what they're doing, and they just go into a haunted house and say, are you aware that you're dead? Or they say, go into the light. If someone said that to me, like if I'm at a location and someone said to me, Linda, do you know that you're dead? I'd be going, what? My daughter's at home by herself. Where's my car? What about work tomorrow? Who's going to pay my bills? Blah, 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 blah. So it's a really big psychosis that they do go through. And I know because of what Shelley went through when she was here for 3 days. So you can't say those sort of questions to a ghost ever. You know, and I've put all those questions in my book, what you can ask a ghost, what you can't ask a ghost, and questions ghosts ask us. So it's all in my ghost book. Yeah, it's a good one. How to connect with them and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. All righty. So where are we going over to now?
Nicola Wheater, the reincarnation of Nicola Wheater. And another, just more and more evidence just keeps coming through about our past life. Let's run this. And
I've got notes for this one, Mike.
It's a good one.
I've got some things to say on this one.
Super. Let's run it. And everyone, please comment.
Wheater. When Nicola was just 5 years of age, she told her mother that she had lived a past life in the village of Hayworth, near West Yorkshire in England. On her second birthday, she was given a toy dog, which she named Muff, and stated that it was the same name as the other dog she'd had before. Over time, she would talk to her toy dog and discuss incidents and experiences that they'd shared in the past. One day, Nicola asked her mother, Kathleen, "Why am I a girl this time? Because last time I was a boy." Her mother then asked Nicola what she meant by this time, and Nicola replied that when Mrs. Benson was her mother, she was a little boy and played with Muff. Kathleen Wheatley, her mother, had never heard of the surname Benson mentioned in her family and wondered where she'd got the name from. Nicola then described in detail how her previous mother, Mrs. Benson, would tie her hair up funny, and she wore a long skirt with an apron, like the one her doll wore. However, she said that she did not like her father because his face was always dirty and he wore large, heavy boots. She said that he worked on the railroads and they lived in a small house close to the tracks. Unfortunately, Nicola could not remember the name she had when she was a boy, but remembered having 2 younger sisters. She then described the house they lived in, which was grey stone, in between 4 houses that were all joined together in a row. Nicola said that at the back of the house were fields, where she would play with Muff and another young friend, and they sometimes played near the railway tracks, which his mother did not like him doing. One day when they were playing on the tracks, she had memories of seeing a man walking along the track swinging a lamp, then saying that a fast train suddenly came from behind and knocked him over, and he was taken to a hospital. In hospital, he kept being asked if he was all right, but he couldn't answer them, and unfortunately went to sleep and died. She said he went to heaven and met other people before being born again, but added that, "I didn't really die because I came to you, and now you are my other mummy." Kathleen decided to take Nicola through deserted country lanes and windy moorlands, heading towards the village of Hayworth. It was a place she'd never visited before, and after a while Kathleen became lost. Nicola then said that she knew the way to go, and proceeded to direct her mother down unmarked lanes, and they eventually arrived in the village of Hayworth. Nicola then directed her mother to the home she'd lived in her previous life as a boy, and found her old address, which was 12 Chapel Lane, Oakworth, which was one of 4 greystone terrace houses. The house fitted exactly the description that Nicola had previously told her mother. They then visited the Hayworth Parish Church to see if they could get any information on the Benson family. The rector of the parish said that the name Benson was not known in the parish, but nevertheless gave them permission to check the records for births, deaths and marriages, but told them it would probably be a waste of time. As Kathleen was checking the names on the records in the old books, she came upon the surname Benson and found an entry for the birth of a baby boy by the name of John Henry Benson, dated the 20th of June 1875. The father's name was Thomas Benson, a railway plate layer, and the mother's name was Lucy Benson. Kathleen then researched the archives at the City of Bradford Metropolitan Council offices with the help of a Mr. Ian Dewhurst. They checked the census records for the year 1881. The address of 12 Chapel Lane, Oakworth, showed Thomas Benson, 29 years of age, railway plate layer, wife Lucy, 30 years of age, daughter Heffier Benson, 3 years of age, and Sellers Benson, 6 months old. There was no mention of their boy John Henry Benson in the 1881 census, as you'd seen recorded in the church records, which suggests that he must have died before the census records were taken in 1881. The fact that Nicola had remembered having 2 sisters that were recorded in 1881 means that John Henry Benson must have died between 1880 and 1881, which would have made him only 6 years of age when he was fatally struck by a train. There appears to be no doubt that Nicola had recalled a past life as a boy who lived and died at the end of the 19th century. What other explanation could there possibly be? And how was she able to recall her previous surname of Benson and the location of the house? Jonathan Pike.
So, there you are. Linda, a lot going on there.
Yes.
This kid
Yes.
can remember quite a lot before, I guess, it all gets taken away from him.
And do you know the best part of this, Mike?
No, but you're going to tell me.
I've already done it, but I'm looking at it again, okay? There is no property data listed for a 12 Chapel Lane, Bradford, UK.
Right.
However, there is a house at that location.
Right.
So there is a house at 12 Chapel Lane. You can see it's the same picture that we just had,
Right.
but there's no property data. So it doesn't say when it was built, who's lived there, or any of that stuff.
Right.
So how would that kid know it?
Well, he certainly wouldn't have the wherewithal to go on the internet and just do what you did. That's for sure.
Not every city has a Chapel Lane.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it was 12 Chapel Lane.
Yeah.
And I'm a researcher, so hello, I went straight out to 12 Chapel Lane, Bradford, UK, and I found it.
Yeah.
So it's there. You can see what it just sold for.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, how would this kid know where it was?
Yeah.
How would he know?
Yeah.
Unless it was real, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, some other things about it, the year, etc. You know, I would like to find out when the house was built, but you look at that brickwork and it's not from the 1900s.
No.
It's earlier.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he was there because he knows so much detail about the situation.
Yeah.
You know, and I always go back to the parents, you know, how amazing would it be to hear that your little bundle of joy, who you're breeding as your child, looks at you one day and says, "You're not really my mummy." It would be heartbreaking. It would be heart-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how amazing is it that these parents actually listen to their child and say something like, I understand that your soul is so far more complex than the reality of the egotistical life that I'm leading, where I want you to be your full potential. How amazing is it that these parents, because it's not the kid that comes out, because they're only 5 years old.
Yeah.
It has to be the parents
Yeah.
who say, my kids have got this story, you know? But it would be very heartbreaking for them.
Yeah.
So I give them kudos. You know, it is amazing that they do that.
Well, we had the
You know?
story
Yeah.
last week of the reincarnation where she actually let her son or her daughter go and live with,
Yeah.
I think was the husband of the
Yeah.
wife of the time or whatever. That took a lot of courage. A lot of courage. Many people would have criticised her for doing that, but if you
Yeah.
have this love for
And if you
somebody,
understand the levels of our consciousness, you know, you've got to let your kid go and do it.
yeah,
You know, it's like me right now. If I found out that my daughter just came in randomly and said, "Hey, Mum, you know, you're not really my mum," and I'd go, "What?" I think I know because I birthed you. But then she'd say, "Oh no, but I remember I was living out at this place. I'm going to get on a train next week or a plane, and I won't ever see you again because I'm going to go back and find out where I was." And that's okay. That's okay because, you know, how do we know who we are unless we discover who we were? You know, I've had past life regression myself, and now I understand why I like so much red stuff around me. I have red around me everywhere. You know, I even went to the shop the other day. Guess what I bought? Red pens and red pencils. You know, because I just, and that's a lead tip, but I found the red one because they all come black now. I found a red pencil. So now I understand why I like red. You know, I understand now why I like castles so much. So it helps me relate to who I am now as a person. And I understand that I had that life and I am now a separate entity to that. But it does represent so much that the lessons that I learned during that lifetime that I can now incorporate into the lessons of this lifetime. You know? And it's amazing. You've got to run with it. You've got to run with it.
And I think we're going to be hearing and seeing more of this as the veil that separates the two worlds is opening up, and our vibration is higher, so we can reach the higher realms a little bit more, and the information that's been held from us at the moment. So I mean, it's really quite an exciting time actually. Fortunately, I knew one of my past lives, which was with Jean. I don't know what really about my other past lives, which I'd be interesting to find out.
Well, as I say, Mike, you know, I've had one session of past life regression. Now, to answer, so first of all, Amanda, thank you for what you said. But I want to go with Kim, would love to do a past life regression. The thing that we must understand with past life is, first question is, how many have we always had? How many have we had? Because when I had my past life regression, we only go into 3. I could have had 3 million past lives. So if you're egotistical and you're just looking for, I want to find out who I was married to, because I think this is a soulmate and we've been in a past life, don't even bother to have past life because you probably had 3 million other lives. Chances of being in that same life when you were with that person, good luck. And the other warning I say to people, you must be prepared of the gruesome trauma that we go through if you experience your own death. Some people have heart attacks. Some people go comatose. It is not a laughing matter. It is not a joke. It is not something to just take lightly. Okay? You must be prepared, because in one of my past lives I got my arm chopped off and I ended up getting gangrene and it came into my lungs and I was throwing up vomit, like red vomitous gunk was coming out of my lungs for 3 weeks until I died. You don't want to know how that made me as Linda feel. It was very traumatic, reliving your own death, okay? So I've got to give that warning to people who thinks that it's cool, or, oh, wow, I'm so excited. Or they do it online, because there's some YouTube channels, and I've contacted some of them and said, you don't know what you're doing. How dare you be on here? And they don't reply because they know what they're doing because they're getting paid for it. So you've got to go to someone who is legitimate, someone who is trained, and most of all trained in first aid in case you do faint, have a heart attack, go into some sort of psychosis or other. It's not a laughing matter at all, okay? No. Seriously. Yeah.
And you have to go into that.
I've got to say that warning. Because a lot of people just think it's cool to just go, oh, yeah, I want to know who I was in a past life. No.
You have to go into that with a very open mind and without any of, I was told that I was, or I think I was. You have to just go in with it with an open mind. But I just want to mention before we go on to our NDE story, something Sari said here. I've heard a theory that we can download other lives for the knowledge they had, and so some of them we did not actually live. My understanding of this is that certainly when we cross over to the other side, we, depending on our status of light, if you want to put it that way, we can have the opportunity to experience what it was like to be Elvis Presley on stage for one song, the whole concert, or his whole life. But along with that goes with all the pain and the joy. You can experience what it was like to be Jeanne d'Arc during her campaign, through the whole of it, the whole of her life, or just one little segment of it. I guess it depends on how much status you have, how if you've earned that right. This is my understanding of it. I think there's also parallel universes, multi-dimensions crossing over, where we get to experience our other us's, our other me's in different guises. It's a very complex situation. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm just sitting there going, yep, I'm agreeing. You know, I know my experience, and I know probably 10,000 other people's near-death experiences, and I don't think any of us have ever seen, collectively with all the 10,000 experiences I've read, not one of us can say we've got it all.
No.
We don't know the whole perspective of what happens when we die. Because we all have different things. We all go to different places, but some of us have that commonality, like standing in the field of flowers. Some of us have the commonality of having a life review, but some of us are in temples, some of us are in atriums, some of us are out in the grass. So it's all about perspective, our consciousness. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to trust. It all just comes back to believing in something that's outside of the realms of our knowledge. You know, some of us, like me, we do dabble in science and trying to work it out. But at the end of the day, I said to someone the other day, we're not supposed to work it out. Because, you know, you look at movies like Lucy, and you look at, you can get past the gore in it.
What do they say? The devil's in the details in the devil. Just look at the name of the thing straight away.
That's right.
Right, you know.
And then we've also got Kate Blanchett, who was in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Look at what happened to Lucy and Kate Blanchett right at the end of those two movies when they did know everything. They became everything. They no longer needed their body.
No.
And in this minuscule DNA quivering wreck of anxiety, emotions, we can't fathom the truth. You know, straight from Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. We can't handle the truth because it is just too much to bear on our little tiny little pineal glanded brain. So sometimes it's best to just trust and don't dabble into it. Just believe that when we become our soul again, we do know that totalitarian evolvement of our consciousness. Because if we knew everything now, we wouldn't have anything to learn.
Yeah.
End
Well,
of story.
you know, just want to make a comment there about Sorry. She said she hasn't seen either. This is my experience, and it's only for me. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, or you should do it, you shouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
I don't watch these films anymore. I don't want that vibration hanging around me. I certainly don't watch, scary, like films like The Exorcist, Poltergeist.
Documentaries.
Yeah, but for me, just to give you an example, when I edit the opening videos about Poltergeist, I never do it at night. I edit the other stuff at night, but that one I always do during the day. I really have learnt that for my energy, that I'm this beacon of light, and I need to do it in a way where it's during the day and I can break up the energy and I can cleanse it and I can do everything. I don't feel anything is going to happen, but I like to have a little insurance policy, and because I've been down that road, I've done house clearing. We spoke about this before, where doors have been slamming. I've done that. I don't want to go back there to all that stuff, so I have to just be cautious.
That's why I'm now getting away from doing mediumship talks and readings, Mike.
Right.
Too many people come to me and they say, I need to talk to my dead mother.
Right.
And the first thing I say to them is, why do you need to talk to her? Right. Oh, I need clarity on where I'm going. Or I'm feeling insecure, I need a hug. Because if that's the answer, they're not going to come through for those.
Right.
Because they're already coming through for those.
Yeah.
It's only our ego that needs that confirmation from an external person who says the word, they're with you.
Yeah.
So it comes down to our own insecurities as to why we need to talk to our dead relatives. So I prefer to talk to them more in psychology than spiritualism. Start waking up, raising your vibration so you can start talking to your own mother, so you don't need to pay someone like myself to do it.
Yeah.
Because we all have the innate ability to do this.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a big one. When you can say, I'm going to teach you how to do this so you don't have to pay me, that's a good hint that you've got someone on the right page, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying egotistically just to listen to me, but, whenever you're talking to someone, just say, oh, yeah, I just took my car to a mechanic and he's going to teach me how to change the oil and the tyres. He's a good mechanic. You go back to that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's teaching you how to do it yourself, to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And so he's not saying, oh, yeah, come back to me and I'll charge you $50 to do it.
Yeah.
So it's in any field.
Here's the other thing, Linda. When we get off air today, I'm going down to the vet to give him a bottle of wine and a box of chocolates, because though he never saw Becky and he was prepared on the Wednesday on his day off to come into the surgery if I could bring Becky in. Didn't need to, but he has given me so much advice, not even mentioned the price. He's done it for the
Keep
love.
going back to him. Yeah.
Not only do I go back to him, but I'm going to bring him a bottle of wine and a box of chocolates, because it's important that we show appreciation when people do something out of the kindness of their heart.
Yes.
So yeah. So says the daughter is listening, and I asked me if I would go to a séance. I told her I wouldn't know who I wanted to speak to. Oh, well, you could speak to Jeanne d'Arc, of course. She's always a very interesting character to speak to. And she'll, it's a very, very deep rabbit hole that she goes down. So you better be prepared. While I'm at that, I'll just give a little message there. If you are on Telegram, which is the same as WhatsApp, join it's called Spiritual Jeanne d'Arc Prophecies, and listen to what Jeanne has to say through the medium of table tipping. And you will get some very, very deep and profound answers from her. And of course, you get to ask the questions. So,
oh, now, sorry. Good Chief. I know that name. Where do I know that from, Mike?
well, you've apparently had a reading with her before, and so she says it's time that she should call you, or you should get in touch again. So
Yeah, well, we can certainly do that. Sorry. Okay. Email me. My email's on the here.
yeah,
Good Chief. I'm just trying to remember because, hello, some days for me, my brain is like a sieve. Okay. I have been doing his work for many years. Okay, yeah, I do know the name. He's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure.
who's this?
I
Who
might have
are we
watched
talking
him.
about?
Yeah,
Oh, this guy.
where Sari says, lol, maybe Gurdjieff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gurdjieff. I know that name. I really do, Mike. I know the name.
Yeah.
So, I might, while we're watching the next video, I might go just research because I know I want to just rehash my
This
sieve of a brain to remember.
This next story is Ashley Marks, and this is one of our own NDE stories. I did this way back in the day, and so this gives me the opportunity to say, if you do have any spiritual story, NDE, deathbed visions, you've seen a ghost or whatever, you can plonk yourself in front of the camera like she does, and I'll just put some very simple video stuff up. There's some pictures and some video to enhance the whatever it is you're trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can I just go there, Mike? I've just researched Sari. Thank you so much. I've just researched Gurdjieff. Yeah, he's a damn big spiritual guy. He's a radical saint, okay? He does all this, 60,000 views on one of his videos. So it's out there. And he's, I know him. I've actually watched him in the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. Now I know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrote books all and everything about Beelzebub's tales of his grandson, as well as a few.
Yeah,
I know. So I research people all the time, and I just think, I know about that, but I've just got to rehash my memory.
Yeah.
Because in the last 5 years, I've done about 50 years of research.
Well,
and I'm honest.
I'll tell you what, Linda, Beelzebub as a devil put aside for me. Has he got one put aside for you? Then we should.
Mate, I actually tell people I'm not afraid of hell, for I have already lived so many hells in this one lifetime.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go over to Ashley Marks, and just to give you the quick bit of information. She was attending an end of school get together where they were doing some or a Halloween thing where they were doing some tricks, and this is her tale of how it kind of went wrong for her. So let's see what you'll have to say. And as I say, if you've got any story like this, this is what we'll do for you.
Yeah.
I remember hearing last run through, and I thought, I'm going to make it really good. So I tightened the rope, like up on my neck, up higher. And that was a bad idea because I didn't think and account for when you jump, it raises up, and so I didn't account for that. And so I had it like right up underneath my neck when I jumped. And I remember jumping, and I remember jumping so hard that I remember swinging against an adjoining wall, like hitting the wall when I jumped, because I jumped so hard. And I remember it coming like almost, like right up underneath my neck, completely underneath my neck. And the stool, I was looking for it, like frantically trying to find it with my feet.
Right.
And I remember hearing it tip over. I remember turning, and the wall that had the slit, like my spirit turning. So it wasn't me turning, but like my spirit turning. Right. It was crazy. And I saw the split in the sheets where the strobe lights were. Yeah. And my spirit thought, oh, that's like a really pretty light, Right. And the next thing I knew, the strobe light became one ball of light. and it became like a whole bunch of little light bulbs put together into one glowing light that was like in front of me. And it was so like, I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like this is just amazing. I can't believe like how beautiful this is. I was trying to like piece together. I didn't even think about my body. Look at this light. Like I became more of myself, and I instantly felt like I was being drawn to this light. And like, you know, you hear everybody say, go towards the light, you know, I mean, that, I mean, obviously comes from something, and it was real. Like, I mean, I'm just this little girl, and wasn't scared. I didn't feel apprehensive. It was just going towards this whole wall. Like the room just became the light, you know? And I remember like floating towards it or going to, I don't know how you even explain it. It wasn't like you were, I don't know, you were just like drawn to it. And I remember going into the light and it being enveloped, like it becoming me. And all of a sudden, all of these spirits, I don't know what to call it, but family members, loved ones, people that I didn't know here on earth, but I knew in heaven. So my grandfather was there. My dad lost his brother in a car accident years before I was born. He was there.
And you recognized him?
I recognized him and knew him instantly on who he was. And I wasn't seeing people. Like I was seeing like maybe the shape or the out shape of light that was kind of like in the shape of a body-ish. Yeah. But it was as though I recognized their soul. And the next thing I knew, and I remember them telling me, and they didn't talk like with talking mouths or anything like that. They talked with like, I don't know, I was able to understand them just by them thinking, you know, what they were thinking.
Okay.
And I remember them saying, oh, you're here early. Like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? Like, I remember feeling this like surprise and shock that I was here as early as I was here, you know, from them. Like they knew something, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, like where is here? But it's weird because you didn't even question where is here. It was almost as though you knew, oh, I am here. Like this is home. This is where I'm supposed to be. There was never like this question of, oh my goodness, you know, I died. Where am I? Am I in heaven? That doesn't even come through for me, it didn't come, you know, as a question. I had two of them, but I had one in particular that I knew was quote unquote my spirit guide. I don't know how to explain it, but like somebody who knows me and who was like assigned to me in a way, like that was a part of me.
Right.
And I don't know, like and I remember that being a huge like calming awakening. Like I remember them coming up to me and it being like, there you are, you know, like this like feeling, oh, there you are. Like it's almost like a child seeing their mom. Okay. And it was like this feeling of I'm finally with like that radiant of love. And I didn't feel that it was God. I felt like it was like your spirit guide or archangel, they call it, or whatever. But at the time I didn't know what that was, you know, or of any of that. And they said, you have to come with us. It was the two of them, but one in particular. Right. I said, okay. I remember looking into the dome hologram thing or becoming part of it. I don't know how I became, but anyway, I remember seeing it, and I was able to live out my short life because I was only 12, but I was able to feel everything I've ever felt in my entire life. I was able to witness everything I had experienced from not only my perspective, but other people's perspective. Like I could become my dad. I could become somebody who was watching on the side. Anyone who had a part of an experience, I could become them, or I could witness it from an outside perspective. And I become them and I feel them. I feel what they felt. I learned about, like, it wasn't just about me.
A little bit of synchronicity there. I didn't even realise she said that at the end about she could be somebody else for.
I wrote it down because that's what I did when I died too, Mike.
Really? Yeah.
There you go. Yes. where she says I could become my dad. Well, even in my book, in here, I talk about when I became the duck. I become the duck. So when I turn around as the duck, I can see Linda over there. So yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's when that I became the duck that I could become any life that duck had. Yeah, because I saw deers, which are bucks. I saw deers, I saw bears, I connected with people, I connected with birds, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, these are only one life of the soul.
Yeah.
So when you connect with somebody in heaven, you're part of that soul, which is millions of lives.
Yeah.
And that's why I saw boys turning into dogs. I saw that medieval lady turning into the 1960s hippie because they're all part of that same soul makeup.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You know, so I'm really glad that she explained her situation so well.
Right.
Yeah.
Super. And that kind of just about wraps it up, Linda.
Yes, it does.
So,
yes.
Yeah, not bad. Only 15 minutes or 10 minutes over schedule. Not bad.
It's all good, darling. It's all good. You know, it's all good, darling. We just have to remember that, you know, we are here not for ourselves. We are always here for the betterment and the potential of everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the messages are that I will ever say in any video. I just simply go out the back and I say, what do you want me to talk about today?
Yeah.
And they'll give me this idea out of all the ones to do.
Yeah.
And I'll come in, I'll do this video, and then someone will email me and they say, man, did I need to hear that today?
Yeah.
So I don't do my work for the masses. No. I do it for the one, that synchronicity of who needs to hear what I do. And I'm sure that that's the same with you, Mike. And, you know, these videos that that we all give, you know, these videos that we do every week, you know, there's somebody that gets something out of every single video that we do.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't have to have any expectations or say, oh, which video is the one tonight that people need to hear. It's the collective of that consciousness. And of just their alignment of being here and watching the show, so they get a message out of it. And that's the beauty of what we do as a job, you know?
Well, messages. My Spiritual Reports Young Duck Prophecies is up on the YouTube channel. Please take a look at it. Sunday, what's your video about this week?
Sunday, I've just scheduled it. So it's live on my channel, and here it comes. I'll just add it in, Mike, if you don't mind.
No, yeah.
So if anyone wants to, just say notify me when my live starts. So there's my live on Sunday at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to be a little bit early because I've got a reading on after it. I've got a lady come in here. So yeah, life for me is getting busy, darling. You know,
Super.
I'm so excited. I'm finally getting a new phone and internet. How many times have I sat here and I said, damn, my internet's stuffing up again? Yeah. You know, I can't wait to get it all sorted out, mate. So I hope and pray that on Friday they'll do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been a 3-year battle with them, as I've said, you know, but I don't like talking about it, you know, and I just hope that I come in next week and say, look at my new phone, yay, with my Superman cover on it, yay. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good.
Good.
It's all good.
Linda, got a dash. I
love you, Mike. I love you all, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, watching us as usual.
Yeah.
Just to rehash, guys, if you do have paranormal, ghost, angels, time slip, NDE, any other weird event that you want to talk about, you can stay anonymous if you like.
Yeah.
Just email Mike. I'm going to put his link up because he's a little bit shy sometimes. He doesn't like sharing his information.
Ha ha.
Oh my, come on, we got to be funny at sometimes. Raise your vibration, guys. There it is. Oh, I said Mike Cavalli. It's not that one, it's Mike Cavalli, guys, at Hotmail. Oh my God, I can't type this time. I'm not. Mike Cavalli. There you go, guys. Not Mike Cavalli.
Fake Cavalli.
Like fake Cavalli. Oh, God. Anyway, well, at least, you know, I've got a sense of humour about it. I don't just say, oh, Linda, you stupid deadbeat. Anyway, but yeah, so guys, stay safe this week. Stay tuned to Mike and I's work. We do have our private stuff that we do all week. We're here jointly on Wednesday at this point, Tuesday for some others. But come along, be a part of it if you do want to be. And I'll talk from Australia. Have a great night or good morning wherever you are over the planet. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye, everyone.